the Mood Reader with Manji! Yay! And today we are going to do our first booktube Q&A! Yay! Okay, so you guys know how much I love joining giveaways. Like, it's one of my favorite things to do in the bookish community. And I bought a cake. Actually, I bought 2 cakes from this seller here in our province in Cavite when my aunt or my tita celebrated her birthday. And this shop had like a 3,000 likes giveaway, and I won this cake from them. And it just so happened that the day I won their giveaway is also the day where I celebrated reaching my 1,000 booktube friends subscribers milestone. So yeah, I'm virtually sending you a slice of this cake. I hope you enjoy eating it virtually with me. So anyway, I would like to thank Iha Home Recipes for this free cake. This is a strawberry Nutella dedication cake, and today I also asked some of you guys from Bookstagram and Book Twitter to ask me some questions. So I'll be eating this cake and answering your questions at the same time. But first, let's see what this cake looks inside. So we're gonna make a slice of this cake. Yeah. Let's try to do it closely. Oh no. Oh, lambot niya. Okay. Hala, it's so pretty. Look. The other side. The other side shows you. They show mo siya. The cake on there. Okay. Sarap. The icing is super yummy. So yeah, this is the strawberry Nutella dedication cake, and I think it costs 450 pesos for this cake. Yeah. Super affordable. Super mura. So if you're like in the area, maybe near Bacoor, Cavite, so maybe some Las Piñas friends can do it too. Can try their cakes out. They also sell burgers, milk tea, and other drinks. So yeah. Before I answer questions, I just want to try out the inside of the cake first. Ang sarap! So the bread is super soft. It's also a vibrant, bright pink. So yeah, let's start with the questions. My sister will be shouting it from across the room. So yeah, game.
When and how did you realize that you love reading?
When I was young. When I was younger. So this is in the 90s. There's no internet. There's nothing else to do. Relatives, specifically my lolo or my grandfather and my tito, my uncle, gifted me and my brother some almanacs. So basically, it's very textbookish kind of books, like Bible stories, almanacs, world records, and all of that. And my brother and I really loved them. And then my mom always tells us stories before going to bed, like Disney princesses and fairy tales and all that. So I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't love reading. But for books that I actually wanted for myself, if you're also a 90s kid, I know you remember this. We always had scholastic book fairs in our school, wherein they will come in, they'll give you this list of books, and they'll ask you to choose some of those titles. you like tick them with a check mark, you ask money from your parents, and then they will give the books to you the next day, and they'll just ask you to pay for it then. And those like simple scholastic storybooks started like my love for reading. So yeah, so both from family influence and school influence. So yeah, next question.
How do you choose your monthly TBR?
I choose my books to be read in a month randomly. This can be influenced by many things. First is like if there is a specific readathon I'm joining for the month. If a month is like a celebratory reading month of some sort, and occasions like that, sometimes I also choose the books I read based on like the blog tours I'll be participating on. And when I don't really have much reading plans, I just pick books from my TBR jar. And ouch. This is what a sample of my TBR jar looks like. So I just pick a random title from this jar, and I'm gonna read that. So yeah. Next question. Ikaw na go.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have 2 siblings. The first one, or the younger one, they're both younger. The youngest one is here with me in this room. She doesn't want to be seen, but she's the one asking me questions. And the middle person, the middle child, is a guy. So yeah, I'm the eldest of 3 children. Maybe 4 if we count Monchi. Next.
Favorite by POC childhood book?
Childhood book? My favorite by POC book, by POC childhood book, if I could be really honest with you guys, I'm thinking that like my childhood shelf was really white, like extremely white, but I had some Adarna books, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I had this, you know, the Adarna picture books from school. And then when I was like in grade 6, 5th grade or 6th grade, I think that's when I started reading Bob Ong. I know his contents is like not really that child friendly, but yeah, he's the first like local author I can think of that I love the books. And I haven't really like read much middle grade when I was in middle grade. So, you know, I just was a fan of the book who the book we cannot name anymore, from the author who must not be named. So yeah. Next question. Next question. Let's eat more cake.
What was the first book you recall loving? The one that turned you into a bookworm?
Oh no. So like I mentioned earlier, I really loved like buying from the Scholastic Book Fair. And one of the books I bought, I can still remember the title, is The School Story. It's about this little girl. I think she's in 3rd or 4th grade, and she really wants to publish a book. And the story is like her being so young and braving it all, braving the challenges of being able to publish a book. And that book made me want to be a writer. So I really fell in love with it. Because of that book, I explored campus journalism, and like I've been writing for like campus newsletters since I was in grade school until I graduated college. And right now, I ended up actually being a content writer for many websites and blogs. Yeah. So it might not be like fiction writing, but I still ended up becoming a writer. So yeah, The School Story influenced my life a lot, and I hope I could still find a copy of that book and read it now that I'm way, way older than when I first read the book. So, next question. Next question.
Would you like to read more sci-fi books in 2021?
Yes, I would really love to read sci-fi books. The last sci-fi book that I read was Athena's Choice by Adam Boostrom. And it reminded me of how much I really love sci-fi. And like for this year, 2020, I really just picked romance and thrillers. I focus on that genre, like my comfort genre. And I like had some random fantasy picks, and like I forgot about sci-fi entirely. And in 2021, I want to read more sci-fi. So if you have recommendations of like sci-fi authors that would not like overwhelm my mind too much, you know, I just have 2 brain cells and I don't want to lose them anymore. So if you have like easier sci-fi, please do comment down your recommendations below. Next question. More cake. Sarap talaga.
What author do you want to see less of?
Of course, the author that I would want to see less of is the author who must not be named, who wrote that book that we don't name anymore, because I really hate all those. I mean, I cannot speak about this anymore, like it's been discussed so many times, but really I cannot support an author who's like publicly like using her power and influence to convert more people to have this like sick thoughts and opinions that are like very offensive, inhumane, and all that. So, you know, we don't want to support her. The story would like always remain to be a special part of my heart, but there's no more need for me to like pump it up, promo it, shout it to the world, because yeah, as much as I love Harry Potter, okay, let's name it, I don't love the author. Like, I don't know her anymore. So, next question.
Thoughts on poetry books?
So, poetry is not really a genre that I pick up, because I think poetry is very subjective. It's not, so it means something, it means different things for different people. And you know, poetry requires this analyzation or in deep like understanding, and sometimes I don't again have the brain cells for that. So yeah, to be honest with you, I sometimes hate those insta poets. Not really hate, but I'm really not into like their works. The insta poets works like a word enter, 2 words enter, 3 words enter, and you know, that style of poetry. To be honest, I like reposted so many lang leave quotes when I was a teenager, but it does not appeal to me anymore. The last poetry book that I really liked was Please Pick Me by my friend Reina Regina, and it was a mix of like poetry and prose, and she really wrote beautifully, and I saw myself in some of her work. So I recommend to everyone. This book is written by a Filipino author, but it's available internationally. So please grab a copy of Please Pick Me. So please grab a copy of Please Pick Me by Reina Regina. Next. Ubus ko na yung cake.
How do you take care of your book?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't like having my books covered in plastic. The only thing I can say is that my books are just kept here behind me. So this room is really cold. It doesn't get hot here. In the morning, noons, afternoons, evenings, it really doesn't get hot here. The air is humid. We are air conditioned in the evenings, and so far, nothing really happened with my books. They've been this way for about a year now. I just like wipe them sometimes. But I'm the type of reader that really loves the books getting old. Like, I love tattered pages. I don't care about broken spines. I actually don't care if you write on the books, if you fold the books. I think it gives them personality and character. So, if you're someone who's like a book sniffer like me who really loves like the smell of old books, like I don't care if they get battered. To be honest with you, sometimes when I read, like, I always snack. So, some of my snacks damage the books, like what I'm drinking at that time. And for me, it just like gives me something to look back to when they pick up the book again. It's like the book's battle scars. So it makes me love the imperfections even more. Like, I don't want books to look like they have been unread on a shelf, because books deserve all the love and attention, and that imperfections that they have shows your journey or your relationship with the book. Especially, like, you know, a really tattered book is a book that you have been rereading over and over your life, and I think that's really sweet. So yeah, next.
Gusto niyo po pizza?
Grabe, sino nagtanong yan?
AMC Bibliophile.
Ikaw ah. Next question.
3 things you can't live without and why?
3 things you can't live without. So things.
Yeah.
So not counting Munchie, because she's a person, not a dog. So right now, the 3 things... Aray, grabe. So right now, the 3 things that I can't live without is my phone. I do everything there. Of course, all my social media, work emails, and like work collaboration tools are all on my phone, like all of my banking and all of that. So I can't go anywhere without my phone. And number 2, I guess, is my Kindle. It's my favorite investment of the year, because I can carry like 1,000 books with me wherever I go with just my Kindle. And I guess the 3rd thing that I can't live without is... Meron pa ba, Gia? Ano pa ba? Yes, the 3rd thing I can't live without is an eyebrow pencil. Because, I know if you watch my reading vlog sometimes, in my vlogs, I don't have any eyebrows. I don't know, eyebrows. And it's because I haven't penciled them in. Like, in our family, I got it from my mom. We don't really have hair on my arms, on my legs, and of course on my eyebrows. So I really need a pencil. I always pencil them in whenever I go out. It has been like a routine since college. So I guess that's the 3rd one, because I can't think of any right now. Just my phone, that it has like my mobile wallets in, so like mobile payments. Oh, yeah. Next.
Are you the only reader among your group of friends?
I really don't have friends, so I have like a handful of friends. I can really count them in my hands. So I have like some high school friends. I don't know if they're still my friends, so. But college friends that I'm really close to, like my closest friend Thea just reads self-help motivational books. I think Michael does so as well. And the only person that I can think of that loves books as much as I do is Ate Lani. She is a close friend of mine from church, from choir, and though she is a little older than me, we have the same interests, and she is a very diehard like Cassandra Clare fan, and she also loves The Witcher. And yeah, so she's the person that like understands my feelings whenever I read books. And also, I think Ate Harleen is also a bookworm, but she loves that book, which we cannot name, and some classics. She likes reading classics, and she also likes reading romance books like me. So yeah. So I guess I have two. Next.
How do you manage to keep your reading time and personal life time?
My personal life is quite hectic recently. And I haven't really read much physical books and ebooks. If you will notice my Goodreads tracker for December, most of the books I read are audiobooks. So if you are a lover of books and you don't really have the time, I recommend listening to audiobooks because it's a really nice way of like understanding stories. I know some people hate them, some people get sleepy listening to the books, but for me, it gives a deeper experience, somewhat like watching Netflix but not looking at the screen. Past year, I have read so many audiobooks. I listen to them while doing chores like cooking and washing dishes, and like idle times like when I'm playing my favorite mobile game, Gardenscapes and Homescapes. I listen to audiobooks. Yeah, and I also make sure to read a chapter or two at least 15 to 30 minutes before I go to sleep, just so like I can make progress on my reading. So that's a tip for you. If you want to listen to audiobooks, there are audiobooks on Spotify and on Scribd. You can get 2 months free if you click the link below. And I'll have like an additional month for free at no cost to you. So yeah, I recommend trying out audiobooks, especially Sadie by Courtney Summers and Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Cha-ching! Next question.
What's the best romance book you have read in your entire life?
In my entire life?
Yeah.
Grabe naman! So I really can't give you the best romance book I have read in my life. But I'll give you a few titles that I really, really loved. So first, I loved Paradise by Judith McNaught and Perfect by Judith McNaught. They're like my first romance books that I read because of my mom. And yeah, I just loved her writing style. And you know, Queen, Tita Judith, we love her. Recently, I just read a month ago, I enjoyed Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. It's a 24-hour story about these two class valedictorian rivals, and like they fell in love. They realized that they actually loved each other all this time when they thought they hated each other, and that's really cute. I love very angsty books as well. So I have read a lot romance books. It's so hard to give recommendations, but of course, all Colleen Hoover books, I love them all. I have my mini collection of Colleen Hoover books here. And yeah, so I guess those are enough romance recommendations. Yeah, so recently before I forget, I also loved Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. It's about when the prince of the UK falls in love with America's first son. So the son of the President of America falls in love with like the Prince of the UK. And Autobiography by Christina Lauren. So this one is very angsty. I love that. It's an MM romance. It's so good. So yeah, I recommend those titles. Yeah. I finished my cake size. I just have a few more questions to answer. Next.
You always recommend when someone needs a good cry.
The book I mentioned earlier, Autobiography, I cried a lot when I read that book. This year, I haven't really had books that made me cry a lot. But I cried hard when I was reading Nowhere Girls. The themes are a little hard. Jane Anonymous as well. And today, In the past few days, I'm currently reading this one. It's a Mitch Albom book, Finding Chica. I actually cried at the first 5 pages. And as I go through the book, I'm currently at page 93. It keeps breaking my heart at every page. I don't know why I subjected myself to this pain, but yeah, it's what you can expect from a Mitch Albom book anyway. So yeah, those are like the recommendations I have at the top of my mind. Some of my friends have read A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara and they have been crying while reading the book. I haven't ordered the book yet and I haven't decided if I would really love to read the book because I have watched a few reading vlogs and it looks like most of them have great damage after reading the book. So if you want to explore themes like that, then go ahead. I'm still trying to decide whether I would try it out. So yeah, next.
Where do you like to read your books the most?
I read before sleeping. So yeah, I read on the bed. Ano ba tamang grammar? In bed. I read in bed. I read in bed most of the time. That's my sister's hand. That's not my sister. That's my sister's hand. So yeah, I read in bed most of the time. And sometimes in our living room, we have a comfy sofa. And, flex. And the last place is like on the, is that a balcony? In our balcony because there are nice plants and Munchie loves hanging out there. So if I want to spend time with Munchie, I have to go outside. Next. Correct.
What is one historical romance book that you would recommend for someone who has never read?
So if you haven't read historical romance and you want to try it out, I recommend Judith McNaught titles. One of like the books I remember loving is A Kingdom of Dreams and Whitney My Love. I'm also really loving the Bridgerton series, and the bonus is that it's coming on Netflix this December 25, so you'll have some visuals when you are reading the book. So I really recommend that, and try out Lisa Kleypas as well. So yeah, those are the books, the authors that I recommend. Next.
Sorry. Would you rather read only one book in a year and remember everything, or read 100 books and not remember nothing?
I'd rather read 1,000 books and not remember and not remember anything. 1,000 ba? 100 lang. I'd rather read 100 books and not remember anything about them because, there's still this feeling in the moment. There's a feeling you get in the moment when you are like in the good parts of each book. I don't even reread most of my books. I never reread. So, because nothing compares to that first experience of reading the book. And there's so many books to read. Why would I even choose to reread something? Even if I loved it so much, I would rather pick a new book because there's so many releases to like check out. So why would I limit myself to one title? That's crazy. Chos. Baka yun yung choice nila. So yeah, next question.
What's one book you wish you could read for the first time again?
The first time again. A book that I would want to reread. Ano ba? A book that I would want to read for the first time again is probably Verity by Colleen Hoover. Because that book really gave me the creeps. It's a pretty scary book. I really was like looking behind my back while I was reading the book. I was that scared. it's not like a horror book. It's more of a domestic thriller. But yeah, there's something about that book. I wish, yeah, when I picked it up, I didn't put it back down again. I didn't sleep at all until I finished the book. And if there's another book that I would pick, I'd go for the Hunger Games trilogy. When I first read the book, I remember we were still in Las Piñas. In our old house. So I was like under the stairs because we had this space under the stairs. I started reading the first book in the morning and I finished the trilogy like the next madaling araw. Ano yung madaling araw? Like near midnight. So imagine I read the 3 books in one day, like within 24 hours because I loved the writing so much. So yeah, I think I'm due for a reread of The Hunger Games. So I'll probably read that very soon. Next.
A book you read this year with the best plot twist.
Wala, ang dami kong binasa ngayong year. In 2020, I read so many thrillers that I can't even think of an answer for this question. But, some books with like awesome plot twists. One of the books that like gave me a surprising plot twist is The Suicide House by Charlie Donlea. So it's not a popular thriller book, but when I picked out that audiobook from Scribd, I remember my brother turned off the lights in our room. And I was so scared. I was freaking scared because the audiobook was so great and people kept dying in a certain place. They keep committing suicide. And something happened in like that school. And when they revealed what really happened, I was so surprised. I was blown away. There's this like narrator. The book had multiple narrators, and one of the narrators wasn't identified at all, and that's the killer's point of view. And I keep trying to guess who the killer is, and I don't know if I'm just dumb or it's really hard to identify who the killer is. And when their identity was revealed, I was so surprised. I didn't expect that at all. So it's actually a second part of a series, and I want to read the first part like maybe early next year because I can keep adding books on my TBR. It's like the end of the year already, but it's amazing. Please check it out if you have the chance. It's The Suicide House by Charlie Donlea. Next.
How often do you DNF a book and why?
I never DNF books because I want to rate my books and I cannot rate my reading experience if I DNF them. So what I do instead is like to skim some of the pages, skip some chapters, but I try, like sometimes I skip descriptions and just read dialogue, but I never DNF books even if I hate them so much. Yeah, I think I have just really DNF'd a few books in my entire lifetime, and it's because they disgust me so much, or like the writing style is like full of wrong grammar that you cannot understand anything at all. So that would be the only reasons why I would give up on a book, because I don't want to give up on books. Yeah.
Would you rather only reread books or only read new releases?
I would rather focus all my attention on new releases. Again, I never reread books because you can't relive the same experience twice. There's nothing like the first time, you know. And you know what? As the years go by, authors become more diverse, more culturally aware, more responsible. They have more creative styles of telling stories, so they deserve like my attention. They deserve my money, you know. And they deserve, especially debut authors, like they deserve the shouting out, screaming, and promo bookish bloggers and booktubers do for them. So, you know, I try to focus on new releases. And of course, the backlist titles that I have never read before. But again, I really won't reread something unless you had that awesome, great impact on my life like The Hunger Games did, you know. So yeah. Next.
Would you rather read disappointing books or no books?
Grabe naman to. No books at all, sabi. I'd rather read the disappointing books than no books at all. Because I can't imagine my life when... I can't imagine me living in a world where I don't pick up books before I end my day. Because that's just how I end my days. Reading somebody else's story. Instead of like looking back into how my days went. I really just love reading somebody else's words before I go to sleep. So even if they are disappointing ones, I'm sure there's something good about them still. And if they're disappointing to you, they might not be disappointing to me. So yeah. Next.
A character that reminds you of yourself.
A character that reminds me of myself. Meron ba? A book character that reminds me of myself, I guess, is Dumpling. From the book Dumpling, because she's also a plus size girl like me, and I would like to think that I'm as brave as her, but you know, her insecurities, all the thoughts in her mind reminds me a little of myself. And I don't know, she seems really fun. She loves music like me. She really loves Dolly Parton. I'm not a super diehard fan of Dolly Parton, but I do appreciate country music as well. So yeah, I read the book, I watched the movie, and maybe we have some few similarities. After all, I don't know. She was the first person that came to mind. So yeah. Next.
Who is your auto-watch book?
So my auto-watch booktuber is Gabby Reads. She is like my go-to source for thriller recommendations. I love the way she shoots her videos. She's very genuine. And I also watch everything Gerald the Bookworm uploads. He makes my days so happy. I always tell Gerald in the comments that he gives so much energy in the videos that he produces, that he like transfers all the energy to me when I need to like work late and all of that. And I also watch all the books that Her Bookish Side uploads. Yeah, those are the first 3 people that came to mind. Next. Lana? Last.
For you, what makes a book worth reading?
What makes a book worth reading? So, yeah, for me, what makes... I know this would sound shallow to many of you, but what makes me pick up the book is always the cover. I'm sorry. I do judge books by the cover. If the cover does look interesting, I won't get it. No matter how amazing you say the story would be, I always judge books by the cover. And I don't read synopsis. Like, if you buy, like when you bookshop, I never read what's on the back. I don't want to know what the book would be about. So it would, my thing that convinces me to buy a book is always the cover. Judge me. Fight me. So yeah. Yun na, last. So yeah, after 40 minutes, we are finally finished with all of the questions. First off, I would like to thank my Bookstagram friends and my book Twitter friends for giving me the questions for this video. And again, thank you so much to Iya Home Recipes. I was able to eat this much cake, and I'm not the type of person who likes cakes that much, but I was able to eat a lot. It's really yummy. Their links would be in the description box below. And again, thank you everyone for subscribing to this channel. You're the reason why I'm celebrating something today. So yay, thank you everyone for all your comments, your likes, your reactions, your Instagram stories. I appreciate all of them, for all your DMs and video requests. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, if you have other video requests or if you have other questions you want me to answer, please leave them all down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully for the next Bookmess video. Thank you so much. Bye!